So as we get up for the 13th day here, by the way, greetings honorable WAP students in Ranger Country, as we head into almost full 2 weeks of the closure, quarantine, shutdown, whatever you want to call it. My mind goes to those soldiers that were in the trenches. Some of you might be going stir crazy. Some of you might be still pretty excited that you get to, stay in your pajamas till the afternoon or all day. But my mind goes to those guys who fought in the trenches in World War I on the Western Front. Those British, French, German soldiers among, many countries who had to deal with boredom in the most terrible of circumstances. Mud, infection, artillery bombardments, the prospect that at any moment they would have to go over the top or wait for days. Just the sheer boredom. And, if you were up near the front, if you were on the front trenches, it might be days, weeks, you'd lose track of days. Heck, today I had to look at my watch to check the day. So I think about, we might be a little bored, we might be a little stir crazy, but think of that, 17, 18-year-old young man who, with his rifle and with his kit is laying up against a trench wall for days on watch, and all he might have are some handmade playing cards, perhaps a letter from home or a picture of his sweetheart or his family. And you talk about a wandering mind. You talk about, thinking about and replaying all the events of your life and then thinking about all the things you're going to do when you come home. Here's what I look forward to personally. I look forward to a time when we're all back together. I look forward to, hopefully getting back to class and getting back to business as usual. But for me, I think the celebration of the 4th of July this summer is going to be hopefully really meaningful for a lot of us. Really meaningful. Circling back to that young man in the trenches, I want you to think about, maybe do a little digging in your own family history. Was there hardships in your family that people had to overcome? I know I've been regaled of the stories of, my great-grandfather in World War I. He was a doughboy. But more acutely, I've heard the stories of the Great Depression, where my grandparents and my great-grandparents had to make do with very little. My grandmother, who lived in Southside Chicago, went on scrap drives and collected scrap metal and took it in to get paid. I remember the story of her having to go down to the government relief agency to get, a basket of food, and her, wanting to hurry home as fast as she could so that nobody saw her. Those are the stories that, really give meaning to what we're going through now in a much, much smaller sense, because we're only 13 days into this. But I think the tremendous shift in our lives will never be forgotten. And, we'll look back on this, and this will be formative. It's formative for me, it's formative for you, it's formative for your parents, and for our community. And I hope that you're making it through this, that you've found some routine, that you're keeping it simple, that you're staying in touch with your loved ones, that you're staying in touch with your friends, that you're finding a chance to get outside and embrace the fact that you aren't sitting in some trench in Flanders, that you've got a phone, that you've got, trail running, you've got, your backyard, and you have things that you can do to keep your mind busy. So I'm going to sign off here in a moment as the trash truck comes up the drive, and I'm going to link up with a bunch of you AP World History students for an 11 a.m. quiz bowl, and we'll have some fun. Signing off, this is Ranger Country.